In the world of sports, narratives are written in real time. We crown champions, celebrate dynasties, and just as quickly, we write off heroes when they stumble. We see an injury, a slump, or the simple passage of time, and we declare their careers over. But every now and then, an athlete refuses to let someone else write their final chapter. They stare down doubt, defy the odds, and craft a comeback so spectacular it forces us to tear up the script we had written for them. Today, we're celebrating these titans of resilience. These are the athletes who were told it was over, but they had other plans. Let us start on the tennis court with a name that is synonymous with greatness, Serena Williams. By the mid-2000s, Serena had already achieved more than most athletes dream of. Multiple Grand Slams, #1 rankings, she was a certified legend. But then, injuries began to pile up. A devastating knee surgery in 2003 was followed by a series of other physical setbacks. The media started to whisper. Had she lost a step? Was her motivation gone? Commentators began to focus on the younger players, treating Serena as a powerful but fading star. By 2006, her ranking had plummeted to outside the top 100. The consensus was clear: Serena's dominant era was over. They wrote her off. But they forgot who they were dealing with. Serena entered the 2007 Australian Open unseeded and ranked 81st in the world. The press called her overweight and unprepared. But with every match, she silenced the critics, dismantling top-seeded players with a fury we hadn't seen in years. She wasn't just winning, she was making a statement. In the final, she absolutely demolished Maria Sharapova, one of the top players in the world, in a stunningly one-sided match. It was one of the most improbable Grand Slam victories in history. Serena didn't just come back, she returned to the throne. And she stayed there for another decade, collecting 13 more Grand Slam singles titles after that career-ending slump. Her story is a masterclass in mental fortitude and the art of proving everyone wrong. Now, let's head to the gridiron. Picture this, it's the year 2000. The New England Patriots used their 6th-round draft pick, number 199 overall, on a slow, unassuming quarterback from Michigan named Tom Brady. No one batted an eye. He was a backup, an afterthought. The next season, the Patriots' star quarterback, Drew Bledsoe, goes down with a brutal injury. In steps this unknown 6th-rounder. The expectation: hold the fort, don't lose too badly. But something incredible happened. Brady didn't just manage the games, he started winning them. He led the Patriots on an impossible run all the way to the Super Bowl, and won. A great story, right? A fairy tale. But even then, many called it a fluke. They said he was a system quarterback, propped up by a great coach and a stellar defense. For years, despite winning more Super Bowls, the narrative persisted. Every time he had a slightly down season, every time he aged another year, the whispers would start again. Is this the end for Brady? The whispers became a roar in 2014. The Patriots started the season 2-2 after a humiliating loss to the Kansas City Chiefs. The headlines were brutal. Tom Brady is done. The dynasty is over. He was 37 years old, an age when most quarterbacks are long retired. He looked slow, his arm strength questioned. The media, the fans, even some in his own locker room, seemed ready to move on. But Tom Brady used that doubt as fuel. He famously told the media, "We'll see." And see, we did. He went on to have an MVP-caliber season, leading the Patriots back to the Super Bowl and winning it in dramatic fashion. But he wasn't done. He won 2 more Super Bowls with the Patriots. Then, at age 43, he did the unthinkable. He left the team and the system he was supposedly a product of, joined the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a team that hadn't been to the playoffs in over a decade, and won the Super Bowl in his very first year. He didn't just prove his doubters wrong, he shattered the very definition of what's possible for an athlete. From the turf to the hardwood, let's talk about Michael Jordan. Yes, *Michael Jordan. It seems impossible to think that anyone would ever write off the greatest basketball player of all time, but it happened. Twice. The first time was in 1993. After winning 3 consecutive championships and mourning the tragic loss of his father, a burned-out Jordan shocked the world by retiring from basketball to pursue a career in professional baseball. The world was stunned. He was at the absolute peak of his powers. While he chased his baseball dream, the NBA moved on. When he returned to the Bulls near the end of the 1995 season, he wasn't the same. He looked rusty. His iconic number 23 was replaced with 45, and the Bulls were eliminated from the playoffs by a young Orlando Magic team. The critics pounced. He's lost it. The magic is gone. Nick Anderson, a player for the Magic, famously taunted him, saying number 45 isn't number 23. They thought the king had lost his crown. That off-season, Jordan trained like a man possessed. He came back for the 1995-96 season wearing number 23, fully recommitted, and with a chip on his shoulder the size of Chicago. What followed was perhaps the most dominant season in NBA history. The Bulls won a then-record 72 games, and Jordan led them to another championship, the first of a second three-peat. He had answered the doubters with sheer, undeniable dominance. He left the game on his own terms, returned when they said he couldn't, and reclaimed his throne. It's a testament to the fact that you should never, ever count out a champion with something to prove. Finally, let's head to the golf course for a comeback story that transcends sport. By the early 2000s, Tiger Woods was more than a golfer, he was a cultural phenomenon. He had shattered records, won 14 major championships, and brought the sport to a global audience. He was invincible. And then, it all fell apart. A public scandal in 2009 was followed by a decade of turmoil. He suffered debilitating injuries to his back and knee, requiring multiple surgeries. His iconic swing was gone, replaced by painful winces. He went from being the most dominant force in sports to barely being able to swing a club. He dropped out of the top 1,000 in the world golf rankings. The videos of him struggling to even chip the ball were painful to watch. Everyone, and I mean everyone, wrote him off. It wasn't a question of if he would win another major, it was a question of if he would ever play professionally again. His career wasn't just over, it was a cautionary tale. But Tiger never gave up. He underwent a spinal fusion surgery in 2017, a last-ditch effort to save not just his career, but his quality of life. The comeback was slow, painstaking. He had to learn how to swing again, to trust his body again. In 2018, he started showing flashes of the old Tiger, culminating in a win at the Tour Championship. The crowd's roar was deafening. But the ultimate redemption was yet to come. The 2019 Masters. On the final Sunday, walking the hallowed grounds of Augusta National, the site of his first major victory, a 43-year-old Tiger Woods, clad in his signature red polo, hunted down the leaders. With the world watching, holding its collective breath, he sank the final putt to win his 15th major championship and his 5th green jacket. The roars were primal, a release of a decade of doubt and hope. Grown men were weeping. It wasn't just a golf tournament, it was a story of human resilience, of a man who fell from the highest peak to the lowest valley and climbed his way back to the top. It remains one of the greatest comeback stories ever told, in sports or anywhere else. Serena Williams, Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods. For different athletes, for different sports, but one common thread, an unbreakable spirit. Their stories remind us that failure is not final. They teach us that doubt from the outside means nothing when you have belief on the inside. They prove that the most compelling chapter is often the one nobody thought could be written. So the next time you see a hero stumble, maybe hold off on writing that final chapter. They might just be getting ready for the comeback of a lifetime. Thanks for watching. If you're inspired by these stories of resilience, hit that like button and subscribe for more content that celebrates the best of sports. And let me know in the comments which athlete's comeback story inspires you the most. See you in the next one.